Episode 73, the Glengarry Barracks. Well, as we have learned, Henry traveled the Corduroy Road down in South Lancaster. Henry became a war hero. Eliza learned of his death in the War of 1812, but of course we know he faked that death. But what were the militiamen doing while they were stationed down in South Lancaster? Well, they were stationed on McLaughlin's farm. This was the Glengarry Barracks. South Lancaster today is a home for many beautiful homes on the St. Lawrence River, but originally it was Faulkner's Landing, one of the first places immigrants settled along the St. Lawrence River. Now, right now in South Lancaster, we find beautiful historic buildings reflecting the early days. But the early days, well, the land was rough. Here's the Grey Goose Inn. It was a hotel in South Lancaster, and Faulkner's Landing, or Faulkner's Settlement. Here's a little tour of some of the buildings in South Lancaster. Most of them are very historic. Many have been renovated and are quite beautiful buildings. And we have, of course, a very famous inn called the Moosehead Inn. It was a local tavern where a lot of the soldiers would go drinking, and it still exists today. Here it is, the Moosehead Inn in South Lancaster. Well, one of the things that the militiamen were involved in were protecting the inhabitants of Upper Canada and Lower Canada against the Fenian raids. The Fenians were a group of Irish Americans, and they were set on invading into Canada, into Upper Canada. Here's an account of one such Fenian raid. Fire bells rang out, and within a few minutes the streets of Cornwall were filled with citizens asking to have arms placed in their hands. It turned out that this attack was fought off, but there was another attack in Lancaster called the Sheepish Attack. South Lancaster was particularly vulnerable to Fenian raids. One foggy night, a boat was seen sailing towards South Lancaster Wharf. A great noise and rumbling. The alarm was sounded. The villagers were sent running into the woods for safety. The next morning, one of the inhabitants got enough courage to go down and look in the warehouse wall, and it seemed that he found a cargo of sheep that had been dropped off there during the night. Wow, it wasn't a Fenian raid. It was a sheepish attack. That's one of the stories of the South Lancasterians have. Well, the military was there, and the militia, the Glengarry Fencibles, which Henry was a part of, was there, and they were prepared to move east to Montreal and west towards Kingston if needed in case of such attacks. Now, while they were there, they didn't have much to do, especially during the long winter months. One of the things they did do is they traveled out to an island just at the mouth of the Raisin River. This is Carn Island. This is where they built the Carn, a monument, a memorial to one of their leaders, Sir John Colborne. Now, it's easy to travel out there in the winter. The water freezes over on the St. Lawrence River. It's quite solid. You can walk from the wharf right out to the island, no problem. So they could carry their supplies there, no problem. In the summertime, it's not hard to get around either. The water is maybe only 4 or 5 feet deep. So, getting in canoes or other kinds of boats, transporting the men out there to build this cairn would have been quite possible. And in fact, here it is. Now, during the summer of 2018, they were doing some renovations. And during their excavations, they uncovered a vault in the cairn. And this is what we suspected. The mystery secret searchers suspected some kind of vault. We found secret messages, and there's an old tree here with strange runes carved into it. And we felt that there must be something more than just the cairn, something hidden here. And in fact, there was. Now, the site is marked by a very old tree. This tree has some significance. It has some runes carved into it. These runes are part of the Celtic tree language, or the Ogham language. And Ogham is a very ancient language. and it's made up of all kinds of markings that are very hard to decipher. You have to be an expert at this. Well, we found these Ogham markings here, and this is what the clue in Priest's Mill led us to. We found that cryptic note in Priest's Mill with the Ogham writing on it that we had to translate. And we translated it, and we found it was basically referring to a curse. So we had to kind of learn a little bit about the Ogham language to do this translation, but we were able to do it. This was a curse that maybe was placed upon Henry or upon Eliza. It was certainly related to the cursed sword of the Clan MacLeod. So we had found some very interesting clues, and now we were ready to explore the vault, the hidden secret vault at Carn Island. Thanks for watching Mystery Secret Searchers. Please subscribe. And don't forget about the Bishop's Curse on the website www.mysterysecretsearchers.com.